Alright, this is the first time I'm doing anything like this, filming my dry fire track practice. Really my first time dry firing seriously, and this is also post-surgery, so I'm doing this more or less with a bad right side. For the sake of filming, I'm going to make sure this is clear. I'm going to do this for maybe about 5 minutes or so. That was the magazine, so with the magazines clear, I'm going to lock this to the rear. I'm going to do a physical and visual inspection of this chamber. Make sure it's clear. Okay, we're going to pull the trigger and then I'm going to reach over and grab that magazine. For the record, this is with the Glock 17L. This is about a 6-inch 9mm. And more or less, like I just said at the beginning of this video, I'm going to do this for maybe about 5 minutes or so. This is post-surgery. This dry fire practice is also serving as more or less physical therapy during post-recovery. They cut into me last Thursday. Not like this is Friday, Saturday morning, depending on if we've reached midnight already. So I'm not talking about 2 days ago Thursday. I'm talking about like the 10th of April or whenever that was. I'm talking last Thursday. But yeah, anyways, that's done for the record. We are going to be running this completely dry with no ammo. There is ammo in the room, I believe. Yes. I couldn't remember if it was in my closet or on the gun shelf. So there is 9mm live fire ammo in the actual bedroom here. We are not touching that. It is completely separate by my closet door. I'm just stating that as far as safety goes. I have verified we are rolling empty mags. The chamber is clear. We're going to do this dry. So this is more or less just pulling the trigger, a dead dry trigger, working with the mag pouch here. And like I said, this is dry fire / physical therapy post-surgery. So I am working my right arm. And also, yes, I'm working to build up in firearms. So this is more or less just reloads. I'm not worried about accuracy. I'm not worried about anything this dry fire practice. This is just more or less 1R1s. So without further ado, here we go. Working from the mag pouch. Once the mag pouch is dry, I got to reset. So that's all. That's all for the record. Here we go. I wrote the slide. Okay, reset. This video is going to be strictly 10 minutes. Like I said, this is just dry fire for a couple minutes. Trigger is still on the wall. Rock the slide back. Okay, trigger's good. We reset. We got 2 in the mag pouch again. There's 1 in the firearm. Here we go again. Damn, keep doing that. Okay, good trigger. Reset. Putting 1 in the firearm, then I'm setting firearm down, mags. Good trigger, 2 in the mag pouch, 1 in the firearm. Here we go again. Reset. I lost a magazine. That's all right. There it is underneath the chair. Trigger's good. 1 in the gun, 2 in the pouch. Here we go again. Didn't rock it back far enough. Here we go. Okay, reset. Take a breath, take a breath, take a breath. Heart rate's up. I am actually running on adrenaline right now. Oof, gotta calm down some. All right, good trigger. All right, reset. That iteration was kind of fucky. Just because I fumbled fucked the mag. There's the wall. All right. 1, 2, good. Here we go again. Gotta hate the lefty sometimes. Again. Yeah. I'm trying to do this one-handed. Get used to that. Nope, can't do it. All right, these last 2 iterations were really screwy. That's all right. One under the table. Good trigger, 1 on the gun, 2 on the belt. Here we go again. Calm the fuck down. Heart rate's way up. Yeah, that's all that's needed. There we go. Okay, this one's going in the gun. Bat trigger. Trigger's reset. 1 on the gun, 2 on the belt. Here we go again. Ah, I was in pain there. Reset. 1 on the gun. Trigger's reset. Two on the belt, 1 in the firearm, good trigger. Here we go again. Ow! Good. Trigger's down. Set the firearm down and grab mags. We'll reset. Bad trigger? Yep, bad trigger. All right. Trigger's clearly on the wall. Obviously with the slide lock back like that. Good trigger. 2 on the belt. Here we go again. Maybe the last or second to last iteration. Here we go. Okay, reset. One on the gun, 2 on the belt. Next iteration. Good trigger. Here we go. One last run, and then this will be dry fire for the night. All right, that's it. This video is at 10 minutes. I'm gonna put the Glock 17L away in its case. This was my first time dry firing post-surgery. Like I said, I currently have a bad right arm pending doctor and physical therapy assessment. It is Friday night or Saturday morning. like I said at the beginning, depending on if we've reached midnight or not, the date's changed. So Monday the 20th, I'm seeing my surgeon for post-surgery follow-up. The 21st, Tuesday, I'm seeing my physical therapist for initial assessment for the first time. So other than that, like I just said, this was my first time dry firing post-surgery. We will continue to do this every night now. This, like I stated throughout this video, this dry fire is both getting serious with firearms and at the same time double purposing as my own physical therapy, my own PT in a way, working this arm, working reloads and whatnot. So one of the things I want to do is get a smokeless range. I want to get a firearm simulator for my apartment and laser/IR laser targets. And eventually I will turn a portion of my apartment into a more or less a simulated firearms range for practice at home. Unfortunately, the equipment I want to get, a cool fire trainer and a smokeless range, and I think it's called laser fire, or like the Mantis laser targets or whatnot, all of those systems, the cool fire does not have a 6-inch variant for the 17L, so I am going to have to get I'm going to have to work on replacing my Glocks finally. My Glock 34, 17, 19, 26, 43X, and 48 were in an apartment fire in 2022. Those firearms still have not gone back to the Glock factory in Georgia to be replaced. I reached out to Glock a couple years back as I left federal service for the FAA as an armed security contractor, and I was told by Georgia they will replace the firearms. At this point in time, I'm unsure if the factory will have Gen 5s, of course, because all those firearms were Gen 5s at the time. I don't have a holster for this. Let me just put it on the table as I'm talking. So yes, just for the sake of YouTube, I wanted to put that out there. But without further ado, yeah, I do need to replace those Glocks for the purpose of cool fire training. Other than this Glock, as far as duty carry, I have moved most of my planned purchase in the future for duty use are going to be Smith & Wesson. I've moved to Smith mostly now, with the exception of a planned Springfield Echelon for, I think it was a Glock 17 variant. I'm more or less a weird individual. I've notated the Glock barrel lengths. I'm getting a Glock 34 equivalent for Smith. I think my Glock 17 equivalent was a Springfield Echelon. The 4.5-inch barrel equivalent, I believe, was this Echelon currently planned out in my Google Sheet. The Glock 19 equivalent was a planned Smith compact, and a Glock 26 equivalent I already possess. That would be the Shield X that I currently have on my shelf. And what else do I have? A 365X that currently rides in a Safariland Solus ALS Level 1 holster. Also at home is a Ruger Security 380 during post-surgery. And actually before surgery, I've always had a Ruger Security 380 for home. And I also have a SIG P365 380 right now. That 380 needs to be rescued out of the pawn shop, but those are the firearms I currently possess. So yeah, those Glocks are needing to be replaced more or less just for the purposes of cool fire, recoil simulation, so I can practice dry fire on the range with IR lasers and this and that. The cool fire trainer will give me recoil as I'm using IR lasers to hit simulated laser targets, or with the in conjunction with the smokeless range projector-based firearm simulator system, or firearm range simulator. Oh yeah. This was dry fire. I will put the 17L away back in its case. But yep, like I just keep saying, this was dry fire post-surgery for the first time. I just wanted to film it. I'm going to look back on this, see how I can improve this and that. But I will also be putting this out on my YouTube channel. This one's more or less gritty, raw, down and dirty. There was no topic as far as the Professional Security Journal YouTube content goes. This is literally me just filming myself post-surgery, more or less along my recovery. I'm working firearms into my recovery basis. So, yep, take it easy.